Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the Senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting, is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I have received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
UNATCO?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience, and their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Among other things, but I must admit that I have been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again. Not better than kings. Gods.
Heads up, JC. Your brother Paul is on his way to meet you at the dock. The shots have been fired. I repeat, find Paul. I will monitor your situation from HQ.
Paul, I thought you were in Hong Kong. Welcome to the Coalition, JC. I might as well start using your code name. Think I'd miss my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice. What's going on? The NSF. They hit one of our shipments. A few of them got away, but we trapped the rest in the statue. What are we waiting for? Looks like a textbook assault. The NSF took one of our agents hostage. The bots are holding the perimeter, but my orders are to hold back and send you in alone. I think someone high up wants to see how you handle the situation. All I've got with me is a pistol and an electric prod. I don't mind a test, but UNATCO better issue some hardware. Remember that we're police. Stick with the prod. It'll stun your opponents or knock them unconscious. A non-lethal takedown is always the most silent way to eliminate resistance. Just in case, though, Manderley wants you to pick an additional weapon. A sniper rifle, a GEP gun, or a mini crossbow. Never know when I might come up against some heavy armor. Give me the GEP gun. The GEP gun might be useful. They have a security bot on patrol near the statue entrance. Great. What's the first move? I'm going to give you a map of the island. If you can get to the North Dock, a UNATCO informant will give you a key to the statue doors. He responds to the code phrase, iron and copper. You could avoid a lot of fighting, though, if you found a back way to the statue. I'll see how it looks on shore. Your primary objective is the makeshift command center the terrorists have installed at the top of the statue, but don't forget about Agent Herman. We think he's being held on the ground floor. What are my orders when I reach the command center? Interrogate the leader. We don't yet know why the terrorists would risk an open assault.
The barge docked and the NSF moved right on in, offloading the cargo into speedboats. Our undercover man, Harley Philbin, should be somewhere out on the docks now.
About time you showed up. Iron and copper. The statue is copper on an iron frame, right?
Password's enough, pal. Don't think you know something about the lady I don't. My dad did tours out here.
I heard that you can get me inside.
Depends. You get your man out, take back the statue, whatever. But I know the commander and I don't want to see him get hurt. Here's a picture so you don't make a mistake.
You can trust me.
I'll take your word. Here's the key to the front entrance. Commander's not much of a soldier. He'll surrender as soon as he sees you. I need him alive because he's my main contact at the NSF. If he's dead, I don't have much of a business.
Thanks. Glad you're not hurt, Agent.
Command should not have left us to be surrounded.
Risk is part of the job. I think you lucked out this time.
Agent Navarra and I were ready to go in. but for no reason they said pull back. I do not retreat. Please give me a weapon and move out of the way.
First thing is to get you out of here. I'll handle the enemy.
Excuse that I have forgotten your brother Paul Denton and the infinite power of nano-augmentation.
I just can't spare any arms. Please retreat to a safe location.
Go ahead. Advance up the stairs to the command center at the top. I will take my rusty metal bones and sweep away into the junk pile.
Easy. We want conscious. Find out what you can about the shipment, then turn him over to one of the troopers.
Don't shoot. I surrender.
So you think you know better than FEMA what to do with this month's ambrosia shipment?
You're too late. It's on its way back to the people, and you can't do a damn thing about it.
Tell me about the shipment, and I'll order the troops to pick you up as a prisoner instead of a corpse.
Ask away. We already won this round.
Where are you taking it?
We're just giving ordinary people the same chance to survive as the bureaucrats in Washington.
You'll have to unload New York because the choppers would spot you at sea.
I think the government made the plague on purpose to get rid of the population growth.
Well done. I will pass on your orders to the troopers. Report back to base on the west side of the island. Mission complete.
Just answer the question.
Don't believe me? It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
Do you have a single fact to back that up?
Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
So?
It's called consolidation. Strengthen governments and corporations, weaken individuals. With taxes, this can be done imperceptibly over time.
I guarantee you that the interrogation staff at UNATCO will not be as forbearing as I am.
Yeah, the secret police. You're just bullies for a completely illegitimate government in Washington.
We will locate that shipment one way or another.
The entire executive branch is handpicked. 19 of the last 23 U.S. presidents have been members of the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission is financed by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Don't tell me.
That's a think tank. Anyone can become a member.
But not everyone does. That's why they call it the secret government. You can't fight ideas with bullets.
We've got the island secured. How did things look in the statue? The leader surrendered. So they were after ambrosia. A month's supply for the East Coast. We think they've taken it back to the city. I didn't know UNATCO handled the ambrosia distribution. Manderley will brief us shortly. UNATCO makes sure the limited supply of vaccine gets to government agencies and key industries. It's good to finally see some action. Just keep a level head. You're doing well so far. Now get inside. I'll meet you in Manderley's office, level 2.
Are you sure you pressed the right button?
I do not make mistakes of that kind.
Your hand might have slipped.
No, I wanted orange. It gave me lemon lime.
The machine would not make a mistake.
It's the maintenance man. He knows I like orange.
So you think the staff has some kind of plot?
Yes, they do that on purpose.
My new partner, J.C. Denton. Don't tell me you're going to wear those sunglasses during a night operation.
My vision is augmented.
Better to look good than to have the distractions of another agent who needs backup.
Forgive my interruption. I just wanted to say that I look forward to working with you, Agent Navarra. Also, excuse me, I've got to be briefed by Mr. Manderley.
I do not expect you to perform as well as Agent Herman, but the mission will require us to do more than frighten the NSF with our baggy coats that make us look bigger than we really are.
I am prepared to perform my duties.
For instance, not to be a man running into enemy lines without coordinated military assault.
Reporting for duty, sir.
The man himself. Splendid. Do you accept my apologies about the situation topside?
A refreshing change from the academy, sir.
Don't despise training, my boy. Even you would be worthless without the shaping touch of drills and studies.
So the NSF took a shipment of the ambrosia vaccine? Give me a chopper and a pilot and I'll handle it.
I'm sure you could. Yes, indeed. But we're having your brother head up the recovery team. You'll work with Agent Anna Navarra. Why don't we meet when you've seen Jaime for a medical checkup and received your equipment from Sam Carter? You'll be briefed at that time.
Yes, sir.
Hey, JC.
You look like the real thing. They actually let you operate on people?
Just fixed Gunther's knee, in fact. A sticky actuator. So far, I feel more like a mechanic than a doctor.
I'm impressed.
They actually let you point a gun at people.
We'll have to catch up later. I've got to leave for New York right away. Could you send Manderley whatever it is he wants?
No problem. Listen, JC, about your augmentations. You know they're preparing to roll out the technology worldwide, right?
As long as I don't turn green and grow a pair of antennas, as I understand it. General Carter, I read about the Merced operation in school. This is a great honor.
I'm not a general anymore. Just call me Carter.
I can't believe what the NSF did to your family.
Enough of that, soldier. We each have our troubles. I lost my children, but you've had to grow up without your parents, which requires more courage. I don't think it matters.
My parents died in a car accident. That's different.
I said that's enough. You have your own op and time is short. How about I issue you a stealth pistol? Now move out. Manderley's waiting.
That will be JC's job.
What's that? Power station. The NSF have Ambrosia in a warehouse protected by cameras and booby traps. We want to power down the whole system.
We're taking one illicit generating plant, protected by weak groups of NSF. Knock out that plant, and Paul's team can walk right into the warehouse.
Just tell me where it is. The NSF are openly resisting our deployed forces, gradually falling back. You'll have to deal with them first.
And you be ready, Paul. When the power drops, go in and go in hard.
I'll use my discretion.
Go in like the U.S. Marshals. We lose the vaccine, I'm sending your butt to the mayor to explain why he and his 3 daughters won't get their pills this month.
Yes, sir. Let's not waste any time, JC. Get down to the dock. A boat is waiting to take you and your partner, Anna Navarro, to shore.
All right, let's go. The terrorists are in a fighting retreat. A few have barricaded themselves inside Castle Clinton.
Lead the way.
Our orders are to locate a barrel of ambrosia they are hiding inside. I will give you a schematic of the barrel, but first we will exterminate the NSF terrorists.
Exterminate?
A precious opportunity we cannot neglect.
What about the rest of the shipment?
That is your brother's assignment. You will take the subway to meet him in Hell's Kitchen. But first, we should deal with Castle Clinton.
Are we going in the front, or is there another way?
A secondary entrance would be useful, but I am aware of no such thing.
Looks like these tunnels head toward Castle Clinton. I can't find them on the map, though. Objective complete. Agent Navarre will describe your next assignment and stay behind to protect the Ambrosia. Look for her out front.
You were too gentle with the NSF, but I cannot complain. You completed the objective. At least you are not a coward like Paul.
I'm learning as I go.
You just passed Lesson 1. Lesson 2 is how we deal with the terrorists in the subway station.
I'm ready.
The terrorists have wired the platform with explosives and put in hostages. Get the hostages out if you can, but make sure the NSF learn that human shields will not work against UNATCO.
Sir.
Who are you?
I'm a UNATCO agent. As soon as I open the train doors, I need you both to be ready to run on board.
Okay.
The hostages will be all right. Now take the train to Hell's Kitchen and report to your brother.
What's the situation here? You're taking over. I've got to get my team ready to raid the warehouse. What about the EMP field? Still in place. Your primary objective will be to locate and disable its power source, probably an industrial-sized generator in a large building. I'll question some of the locals. We'll be waiting for you to take down that EMP field. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Hey, you look like the vigilante type. What if I said I knew where you could load up on military hardware?
Where's that?
That's valuable information. You'll have to come up with some kind of payment. How about liquor?
You can have this beer.
That'll do. His name's Smuggler. Real paranoid nut. Wires himself in with booby traps, but he knows things. There's stuff in the sewers that only Smuggler knows about.
Thanks. Maybe I'll pay him a visit.
Now I'll tell you something you can't hear from anybody but me.
What's that?
Area 51. You heard of it, right?
Actually, I'd rather hear whether you know anything about a warehouse with an illicit generator.
I worked out there. Most people think they got aliens from another planet, but I didn't see any flying saucers. Yep, I know for a fact it's not just for government research. I've seen all kinds of executives coming and going.
I'm sure plenty of bureaucrats fly out there.
Billionaires, big executives. I think the whole place has been taken over by a private corporation.
Not likely.
Something's going on underground. I'm a pilot, which means I didn't get any access to the main complex. But a lot of rock comes out of there. It's some kind of mine. But what I don't understand is why they're always laying more fiber optic cables.
A pilot? What do you fly?
Copters. You know what I think? I think that's where the UN moved Echelon 4 back when they promised they were going to stop spying on people.
Surveillance is a very distributed technology. To centralize it in one large facility would be very unusual, even for the UN.
I bet they did it. They want to centralize everything. Every computer on the planet. This old bird's had enough. Hell, I'm about to go on duty.
What kind of chopper pilot starts work at midnight?
You're with UNATCO, right?
Why do you ask?
I'm the one that flies your brother Paul to Hong Kong. He told me to watch out for you.
I didn't know UNATCO hired pilots.
The black choppers are run by the NSA to support various classified operations. Pentagon uses them, the CIA. They hired me because I don't ask any questions.
What was Paul's assignment in Hong Kong?
Like I said, I know how to keep a secret. Even between brothers.
So he's holding something back. The reason UNATCO transferred him back to the States.
Listen to your brother, JC. Respect his experience. Let's leave it at that.
Do something, man. They're gonna kill him.
Nothing. I checked his pockets. You don't live underground and not have one of Charlie's cards. Make him take off his shoes.
Did you see that?
Yes,
It was uncalled for. You mug people great, you need the dough, but you show some respect.
What were they after?
Especially when it's your ally. They came to us. They wanted an underground base.
So those guys were NSF?
Yeah, the NSF gives guns to anybody who wants to fight. A lot of people just take the guns and do what they want.
So the terrorists are based in the subways? The sewers?
They need to move some kind of secret equipment. Our tunnels are like the crossroads.
Tell me how to find this base, and I bet I can get the NSF off your back.
Underworld. Just remember that word when you see Curly. He lets people in.
Our files show that the smugglers whacked out Paranoid. Watch for booby traps. And the latest news? Your brother's team hit some resistance. So they're going to be delayed while we bring in chopper support.
What do you want?
Why the booby traps? Afraid of something?
Just precautions.
Against what?
Government's been having some kind of crackdown all year. People I know, they've been disappearing.
Is that so?
Think it's a big joke? Lift up a grate in the street. They got my friend Ford Schick in a secret lab next to the sewers.
A lab? In the sewers? Maybe he was taken hostage by the NSF.
These guys are pros. Definitely government funded.
Interesting. Maybe I'll take a look. But I think you should have a little more regard for the United States government.
If you're serious about going down there and finding Ford, I'll give you a deal on some hardware. Also, you'll need this. It's the key that can open the sewer manholes.
You must be Ford Schick.
Who are you?
Smuggler sent me. Who's holding you here? I don't recognize the uniforms of the soldiers.
I don't know. They're private security for a biotech company or something. They had me doing antibody work.
Corporate security isn't usually outfitted to fight a ground war.
They're doing experiments on people. They don't want anybody finding out.
I got your friend out.
Ford, is he all right?
Fine. You were right about those troops. Definitely not NSF.
They're the CIA. They capture people and use them for medical experiments.
I wouldn't go that far. You said you'd make it worth my while.
Since you helped Ford, I'll cut you a deal. And thanks again for finding Ford.
No problem.
Good job, JC.
Vandenberg has assigned me the peacekeeping occupation of this district.
I took care of the generator. How's the raid going?
They should have sent Agent Navarre. Your brother is timid like a child.
Did something go wrong?
You do not need to hear anything from me. Take the helicopter back to base. I am sure Manderley has planned a debriefing for the top agents.
Last boarding call, UNATCO HQ.
Hey, you're the guy I talked to at the Underworld bar, right? The one asking for beer.
You don't want to fly one of these birds all wound up. They have a temperament, especially in a crosswind.
Let's go.
Welcome back. Your mission was a success. Just about the only bright side of the operation, unfortunately. Report to Manderley for a briefing.
Mr. Denning.
Yeah?
The prisoners on level 3 are a sensitive matter. Leave the interrogations to Mr. Simons. You are authorized to receive your orders from Joseph Manderley, after which you will return to the helipad.
Simons. You guys from DC? What agency?
Please proceed to Manderley's office. We will expect to see you shortly. Do not question the prisoners yourself.
I was here first.
Mr. Manderley is in a meeting, JC. You'll have to wait.
I was told to report for a debriefing.
A debriefing. Do not worry. I will state in my report that I was satisfied with your performance. Be quiet. I am trying to listen.
Just fire the arrogant son of a bitch.
I wasn't exaggerating. He's our best agent.
We don't need him. We've got his brother, and more are on the way.
He knows nothing.
I think he does. You should never have sent him to Hong Kong.
Let's be sensible. We have to look at the whole record.
Look, I understand. He was your pet project, but it's out of my hands. Now that the shipment's been lost.
I know. I will comply with the order.
That's all I ask. Carry on. I'm going downstairs to interrogate the prisoners.
I cannot wait forever.
Who is that you were meeting with?
Politics, bureaucracy, mismanagement. JC, I've got some bad news. The mission failed.
What about the shipment?
I'm just going to say it straight, JC. Your brother screwed up. We got nothing, and he's taking the heat this time. The Coalition is letting him go.
What went wrong?
We don't know. He hasn't reported back. The rest of the strike force says he lost his nerve. Whatever the case, now it's your turn. We've got one more chance to retake that shipment.
Has it been located?
Take the chopper back to the city. We know they plan to put the Ambrosia on a plane, but we don't know which airfield.
Where should I start?
If I were the NSF, I'd be moving it through the subways, the abandoned parts of the infrastructure.
I'll check out the subways. Mr. Carter, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
I'm getting the impression that UNATCO is focused more on military operations than law enforcement.
The focus has shifted lately, I agree.
The only way Anna would have been satisfied is if I'd executed every terrorist in Castle Clinton. The standing order seems to be shoot to kill.
Direct intervention is always part of the game. In my day, we were just more civilized about it.
Civilized. That's the word. I guess I was expecting a little more class from the world's anti-terrorist organization.
We just have to strike a balance. Why don't I throw in an extra clip with those multitudes? I trust you will be able to judge when one or the other is appropriate for achieving mission objectives.
I have one question.
They already asked. I don't know.
One must admire a man who can keep a secret because he has value. What you know more than others makes money and gives you a measure of power.
You Walton Simons, you think I could be bribed?
Margaret Forsyth under NSF protection in Queens. Your son Richard attending Bronx Science. You see, I have a few relevant facts myself. Care to make a trade?
You wouldn't dare.
I'll give you 2 seconds to decide. Get out of here, Denton. This is none of your business.
Get on the helicopter, Mr. Denton. Simons did not appreciate your interference.
We're dropping you in Battery Park. We know the NSF were moving material through here at one point. Seems like a good place to start looking.
I can think of safer places to camp. After all the fighting tonight.
Cops said I could be here. Besides, I ain't camping. I'm with the mole people.
Why the name Mole People?
They call us that because we live underground. Like they're some kind of superior beings or something because they got more money than we do.
Maybe you should join your people. Anywhere underground would be safer than Battery Park.
The moles need someone topside. And besides, it's been pretty quiet. I'd rather be here than have the NSF tromping around with machine guns.
The NSF are hiding out with the mole people?
Yeah, they haven't hurt anybody. We guess it's all right.
I need to contact the NSF. Think you could tell me how to find the moles?
Sure. Just give me the password so I know they trust you.
Underworld.
Good. Long as they decided to give you access. Go to the phone booth in the subway station. The code's MOLE. That's 6653.
Thanks.
When you get to the Brooklyn Bridge station, talk to Charlie. He'll get you into the tunnels where we live.
Thanks again for the key.
It wasn't a favor. I was well paid.
A real patriot.
I see it like this. It all balances out. UNATCO's just as much gun freaks as the militias, and if everybody's gonna shoot it out, fine, so long as neither side wins and takes over the whole country.
The goal of UNATCO is not conquest. It's the safety of ordinary people like yourself.
I know an army when I see one. Look, I'll be blunt. You got any cash? There's a secret passage behind that phone booth over there. For 500, I'll tell you where to get the code.
I already got the code to the phone booth, but thanks.
Have permanent living quarters in an adjacent tunnel system not on my map.
I hear the NSF are using the mole people hideout as a base.
Are you the feds? We don't need a war down here.
I work for UNATCO.
Well, the NSF come through here, but they don't bother us. If we need help with anything, it's our plumbing. We lost pressure because of the explosions on South Street.
Tough break. You tell me about the NSF, and I'll put in a word with the city about the water.
The city don't know we got water, and they don't need to know. How about you fix it, and then I'll talk?
I don't have much time.
I would open the valve myself, but there was a cave-in. The utility door's blocked. It's up at the north end of the tracks, in case you want to take a look.
The water line should be open now.
Good. Glad to see you UNATCO boys do something for the community.
Now can you tell me about the NSF?
The NSF? Yeah, they took over our tunnels.
How do I get there?
Go to the women's restroom on the other side of the station. Look for a keypad under the sink. The combination's 5482.
Great. I'm glad I can help you out. Looks like you've been overrun by NSF.
They move supplies through here. There's nothing we can do about it.
Anything recently?
A bunch of barrels came through about an hour ago. Woke us all up.
Where were they headed?
They went through the bathroom like they always do. Only way to get a key is from the NSF commander. The guy lives to the south. But I bet he'd die first.
Some of the terrorists actually live down here?
It's a secret room. You open the door by pushing a brick. They keep hidden behind some cardboard boxes.
I'll have a talk with him. You won't have to worry about the NSF for much longer.
I surrender.
The mole people say the ambrosia came through here an hour ago.
I'll cooperate. Relax. The key to the men's restroom is on the table.
This better not be a joke.
Hey, I'm just an accountant. I know the body armor looks threatening, but I'm part-time, like a reservist. I don't want any trouble.
The panel's secured.
Good. The booby traps?
Installed. They really think you'll make it this far?
Paul said not to take any chances.
Well, I guess he would know.
This is the terminal at LaGuardia owned by Juan Ivanovich Lebedev. We're certain based on what you've discovered. You can relax, JC. I told the troops to stand down. That's right. I'm working for the NSF.
Listen to what I've got to say. We don't have much time. You got that right. UNATCO will have a team here in a few minutes. The Grey Death is a man-made virus. Everyone up to the president is at UNATCO's mercy as long as UNATCO controls the supply of ambrosia. You believe that? We have proof. We need to get the ambrosia to Hong Kong. Heard of Tracer Tong? He can help us synthesize it ourselves. You better step away from the jet. Your boss is my next objective. Join us, JC. Talk to Lebedev. He can convince you.
I surrender.
What?
Easy now, Agent.
UNATCO has a policy against killing unarmed prisoners. We have much to learn from each other.
We're assuming control of the airfield. The vaccine will be returned to the international authorities.
Don't you want to hear why your brother came over to our side?
He makes his own decisions.
You know he wouldn't betray UNATCO without a reason.
Good work. Now finish the job.
He surrendered. He's an unarmed prisoner. UNATCO policy protects him.
Terminate the prisoner, Agent. If you are too afraid, you are ordered to return to base on Manderley's authority. There is a helicopter waiting.
If you know something, just tell me.
The question you've got to ask, I'm surprised you haven't, is the obvious one. Who am I? Who made me, and for what purpose?
UNATCO has briefed me on my augmentations. Get to the point.
Return to base, Agent Denton. I will handle this.
Your parents were murdered precisely because they could have told you the correct answer to that question.
That's a pretty big claim.
You didn't have parents. The ones you knew were employees. You were made by a cabal of technophiles so crazed for power that they would control not only governments and people, but the chemistry of our bodies as well.
Leave us, Agent. Now.
Sounds like a picture-perfect description of the NSF.
Think bigger, Agent. Think global.
You have disobeyed a direct order.
Do you think it's an accident that the cure for the global plague is owned by a single corporation, and that it's kept so secret that only the tabloids dare print a story suggesting it exists?
The supply is limited. That doesn't mean there's a conspiracy.
But where does that corporation manufacture the cure? And where did your brother uncover the information that brought him over to our side?
Go on.
I can tell by the expression on your friend's face that she knows where I'm heading. UNATCO is completely correct to think that Tracer Tong will soon understand Ambrosia. He was the one who was going to receive this shipment.
Why tell me all this?
I've said nothing that UNATCO won't find on this plane's computer. But here's the secret. This is what Paul was so interested to hear from Tracer Tong.
Manderley will be disappointed in your insubordination. That is what happens to a prisoner who tries to escape. Go to the helicopter now, Agent Denton. It is waiting at the airfield.
See to the helipad. We know your brother was here. He is gone, but we will find him. Manderley has assigned me the peacekeeping occupation of the airport.
Standard procedure, it appears. I'm sure we can count on you.
I want to be the one to execute Lebedev.
Some bad news. Agent Navarra beat you to it.
Yes, of course. I will congratulate her.
Hey, about my brother.
A shame that we have to track down and kill one of our most advanced agents. At least we have one of you left.
Don't you think we should give Paul a chance to explain himself? He's been with UNATCO for years.
Only one thing can happen when you break your oath to the Coalition.
Gunter told me about Paul.
It's true. Paul's been working for the NSF.
This is gonna shake up the Coalition, JC. I don't know if you realized how important your brother was.
Coalition will recover. I'm not so worried about the Coalition.
UN officials will probably get involved. You'll have to keep your head down if you're gonna come through this in one piece. Sure you're ready to head back to base?
I'm ready. Let's move out.
Get in.
Manderley wants you to stop by his office. Don't sweat it if he chews you out. I think you made the right decision by not killing Lebedev.
All right, Denton. What the hell happened? You were under direct orders. My orders.
Sorry about not killing Lebedev. He seemed worth interrogating.
We don't give you enough information to make a call like that.
I try to do the best job I can.
Just shut up and listen for a second. Christ, JC, this kind of behavior, not to mention your brother's defection, is making certain powerful people very nervous. Nervous about you. You understand the importance of loyalty, don't you?
Yes, but...
Well, that's what seems to be missing in you and your brother. Brace yourself for an ugly lesson, JC. The Coalition has shut down Paul's augmentations and has activated the kill switch.
Activated what?
He's our enemy now. He's gone, JC. The Coalition wants you to understand that he's just another terrorist, like the ones that have died by your very hand this evening.
Can they really kill him? With the press of a button?
Yes, and you too. So take these orders seriously. They're sending you to Hong Kong.
What about Paul? Will I get to see him again?
Please, just get your equipment and meet our pilot Jock at the helipad. You'll need to take out a man called Tracer Tong, Paul's contact in Hong Kong. Prove that they can trust you. JC?
Yes.
It's critical that they trust you.
They just dropped off a few liters of the ambrosia you recovered, by the way.
Good work out there, Denton. I want you to know, we will not let your brother's activity cast its shadow on you.
Yes, sir. I'm grateful for that. I just wish we'd found out sooner.
No harm done. We have you to take his place.
Is a few liters going to be enough?
Well, no one on staff's gonna catch Grey Death this
I saw you listening in. Yes, it's true. I have augmentations like yours.
Don't you work down in Washington?
Actually, I'm the director of FEMA.
Sounds like you wouldn't have much use for physical augmentations.
You underestimate the demands of my work. We deal with every sort of natural and unnatural disaster you can imagine.
But you're the director. You work behind a desk.
Am I behind a desk right now? No, I'm not. That's because we have a situation here in New York. I got to my position because I can fix things. You will see shortly, because as you have probably noticed yourself, this agency is broken and needs an overhaul.
What do you mean by overhaul?
You will receive a memo in a few days. I am still collecting data.
UNATCO was very effective this evening. We recaptured the shipment.
You don't have to worry, Agent. It's the softer elements I am after.
Like who?
You're beginning to exceed your clearance. What are you? Angel OA?
Excuse my persistence. I'll wait for the memo.
Good. Carry on.
Paul said UNATCO uses the ambrosia supply to influence national governments. What do you think about that?
So it's true. He went over to the NSF.
He makes some sense. I ignored the mission objective of killing his boss, Juan Lebedev, but Agent Navarra intervened.
What did Manderley say?
He boxed my ears. No big deal.
I'm surprised he didn't fire you on the spot.
He gave me one more chance. I'm on my way to Hong Kong.
Good. Maybe you'll find out what's got into Paul.
How are you holding up?
Not so good. I don't know who to trust anymore.
No one blames you about Lebedev. You refused an order to kill in cold blood, precisely your duty as a UNATCO peacekeeper.
Manderley certainly does.
He'll cool down. The important thing is that you obey your conscience.
Right.
A lot of surprises this time. Paul, a terrorist. Wow.
He got me to disobey orders. I don't know what to think anymore.
I wonder what it is he found out. Why he'd defect.
He thinks he has proof of a conspiracy.
Wild stuff, huh? I'd like to hear what he has to say. If you hear from him, or if you find out where he is, don't worry about the info link. I'll erase the archives.
You think he's right?
Worth hearing him out. I've never known Paul to make a mistake. Manderley was tuned in when you reached the 747. It really is all over for Paul.
I'm taking you to New York.
My orders are to go to Hong Kong.
Your brother's in trouble. You need to meet him in Hell's Kitchen at the apartment.
What's wrong?
I'll let him speak for himself. He just wanted me to get you to the hotel. Your brother's hurt pretty bad. You'll find him at the apartment. If he can walk, get him to come with you. I can pick you guys up in Battery Park.
Is this kill switch real? What's it going to do to you?
I'm afraid that's, classified.
Manderley said you're going to die.
You've got to have God clearance to know. The nanites can be programmed for exponential growth.
There's a chopper that can take us to Hong Kong. You know Jock?
First, you're the only one that can help. I need to send the NSF distress code. UNATCO tracked Lebedev to the other NSF bases, and to Silhouette in France.
I came to get you out of here.
JC, you've got to believe me. UNATCO takes payoffs. Silhouette, the other terrorist groups, they're our allies.
You've done what you can for the rebels. Let's go.
You want proof? Pay a visit to the NSF headquarters. Down in the basement, protected by booby traps, a data cube sits on the edge of a table. My report to the militia leaders. Here, I have a photograph of the building. It's a couple blocks to the west, behind the bar.
And I suppose while I'm there, you want me to encrypt a signal with the NSF transmitter, bypass UNATCO SIGINT?
A lot of people could die. My friend Chad, for example, the leader of Silhouette.
I'll check out the facility, but I can't promise I'll help the terrorists. Be ready to leave for Hong Kong when I get back.
I thought they were shipping you off to Hong Kong.
Had to pack a few things. What's going on here?
Damage control. The NSF got their hands on some pretty sensitive material.
Probably had something to do with my two-faced brother.
Nothing we can't clean up.
Mind if I take a look around?
Go right ahead.
You'll need to send the signal from the satellite dish on the top of the warehouse. I'm receiving confirmation that the signal went out. You even reached Silhouette in France. Come back to the apartment and let's clear out of New York.
Denton? Walton Simons here. What an expensive mistake you turned out to be. I ordered the troops to kill you because, frankly, I don't have the patience to wait for one of those damn kill switches to work.
Your buddy Chad should have received the signal. Come on, UNATCO's after both of us.
Good. He'll be able to get his people to their base in the Paris catacombs. Did you find the records we collected on that weasel Walton Simons?
I have a question about Simons. The instant I sent the signal, he ordered the troopers to hunt us down. Why does FEMA have authority over UNATCO? I thought FEMA was a domestic agency for flood relief and that sort of thing.
His authority doesn't come from FEMA. He's part of a secret organization, Majestic 12. We don't know much more than the name. They plan to use FEMA as part of a scheme to shut down the US government.
UNATCO! Come on, out the window. We'll meet Jock in Battery Park.
I can't manage the climb. You go ahead. The code to the gate they installed at the subway station is 6282.
I can't just leave you here.
Don't be a fool. Run!
We had such hopes for you and your brother. It would seem you are not as loyal as we expected.
Loyalty to what Simons and agents like you have made of UNATCO? I would rather die.
There is no escape. You will surrender.
Another peacekeeping occupation?
Not any better. They expect us to take you and Paul alive.
I surrender.
Now we will find out what you know.
I came to watch you die.
You're early. I've got at least 20 hours left.
I was hoping the kill switch would have started.
I don't feel anything.
You won't be able to hide it for long.
What have you done with Paul?
Same as anything that malfunctions. Same as you.
Transmitting the floor plan. All of your equipment has been stored in the armory to the south. Paul Denton is alive in the laboratory to the north, but has a damaged infolink. You must inform him of the escape. Tracer Tong will require his data vault in order to defeat the kill switch.
Paul, are you alright? What are they doing to you?
I'm like the Russian researcher who contracted his own virus. They want to study the way I die.
I hate to interfere with science, but we don't have much time to get you to Tracer Tong.
You go first. I'll slip out on my own.
You sure?
Just take care of yourself, and do me a favor. Check in with Alex when you reach UNATCO Level 3. Some of those guys are on our side.
Alright, but you better make it. By the way, be on the lookout for Anna. She came by the cell block.
Anna, there's something you should know about mechs. They have kill switches too. Only theirs are instantaneous.
Interesting. I guess mechs have us beat on one count.
A kill phrase, they call it. The NSF learned that Anna's is stored in 2 pieces on 2 separate UNATCO computers, with the login Demiurge and password Archon. But I never managed to find it.
Thanks for the tip.
I have some business to take care of in Manhattan. See you in Hong Kong.
Data vault image sent to Tracer Tong. Please leave the facility. At least one of you must survive. The code to the exit door is 1125.
JC, you escaped? Is that what lockdown's about?
I forgot to give Manderley my resignation.
I heard they killed Paul.
MIB's raided the apartment, but he's alive. He's going to slip out on his own.
Manderley's a snake. He told me they were going to leave your brother alone. What can I do to help?
Stay here. I could use an ally inside UNATCO.
Good idea. I can keep you informed.
Do that, but be careful. You know what they do to spies. General Carter.
We've been through that, soldier. Just Carter.
I've discovered some things about UNATCO.
I'm unlocking the armory. I don't want to know where you're going. Just load up.
Walton Simons, the head of FEMA.
I said load up. I don't want to hear about it.
I'm going over to the rebels. You should join me.
Let's get one thing straight. We've got our share of crooked bureaucrats, fact. But this is still UNATCO, and by and large the people in this building are 24-karat gold.
What good's an honest soldier if he can be ordered to behave like a terrorist?
The only way to save the agency is for the good people to stay. That's how I see it.
JC, I've been watching you through your info link. A harrowing escape.
Thanks for tuning in.
You're gonna need a key to get out of UNATCO. We're under lockdown. I'd give it to you, but I don't know. Anna's on patrol. If she found out...
I'll take care of Anna.
I think I have to play it safe. If you can get rid of her, I'll give you the key and maybe I can escape myself. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep my head down.
JC.
You will be much happier at the Library of Congress.
I can't control a man's mind.
You aren't a commander, Manderley. We hoped you'd give UNATCO an urbane diplomatic face, that's all. We screwed up our priorities.
I refuse to be pushed into some obscure bureaucratic cubbyhole.
Actually, I doubt you'll get the chance. Look around. Your star pupil has come back to teach a lesson to his old instructor.
JC.
I never had time to take the oath of service to the Coalition. How about this one? I swear not to rest until UNATCO is free of you and the other crooked bureaucrats who've perverted its mission.
Big words for a rookie. The only problem is that I've notified Agent Navarra of your escape. Trust me, she'll make sure you don't leave the facility alive.
You can't run, Denton. Even if you escape, your kill switch is counting down. You'll be dead in 23 hours. Another $50 billion down the drain.
We'll see about that.
I will have to kill you myself.
Take your best shot, Flatlander woman.
How did you know?
You gave Anna exactly what she deserved. I've sat here and watched her kill dozens of suspects. Now I'm not so worried about sticking out my neck to give you this key.
I think you've already stuck out your neck, Daedalus.
What are you talking about?
You haven't been contacting me under an alias?
The link went down. At first, I thought they'd executed you.
Who else has access? Somebody cut the power to detention.
I installed UNATCO security myself. It's unbeatable. You're starting to scare me.
Not as much as you're scaring me. Who's Daedalus, and why does he want to rescue me?
A better hacker than I. A trick like that? Well, it crossed my mind, I have to admit. I'm pretty disgusted with the agency right now, but I would have been caught.
You wouldn't want to take that chance.
No, but I can't just sit back and watch.
You sound sincere. Maybe you should quit UNATCO.
And do what?
You can track me down in Hong Kong. I'm going to contact Tracer Tong and help the Resistance.
I might do that. Sure, I'll think about it. And I'm gonna check into this mystery hacker.
How'd you know to meet me?
Daedalus. He called himself Daedalus.
A friend of yours?
Nope. I came because I owe your brother Paul a few favors. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna take you to Hong Kong.
Can you put me in contact with Tracer Tong?
I know a place where we can touch down in the city, but Tong is very suspicious of foreigners. You'll have to earn the trust of your brother's allies. They'll know how to find Tong.
Great. Let's go.
Time to see if this stealth copter is worth all the fuss. MJ-12 has a facility in Hong Kong, and they'll be watching for us. Used to drop Paul off in a small compound east of... There. Don't lose any time. Result.
If you die, our plans will fail. Locate Tracer Tong.
My brother's name is Paul Denton. I heard that he was a frequent visitor to this compound. Do you know him?
The Romanos path is closed to Guilos.
Paul is no friend of the West.
My name is Gordon Quick. I know your brother, but you are not him. They say you are loyal to UNATCO.
I was, before Paul showed up in New York. A day later, I was helping the NSF.
You want me to take your word? You are in Hong Kong now, and we are businessmen. Paul earned our trust by working with us.
I don't have time for games.
No games. We would like another ally like Paul. The Triads are at war, thanks to a woman named Maggie Chow. A sword was stolen from the Red Arrow Triad, and Miss Chow started the war by blaming us, the Luminous Path.
I'll go speak to her, but first I need to find a man called Tracer Tong. I need his help.
Mr. Tong deals with businessmen, not beggars or strangers who might be spies. Chow lives at 1313 Tonochi Road. Be observant. Find and examine that sword. It is the evidence we need.
I'll help you against Miss Chow, but then I'll need to see Tong, or I won't be your ally for more than about 12 hours.
You are here to speak to Miss Chow, perhaps? Half a block down on the left.
Thank you.
The woman is a snake. Believe nothing she says.
I'm looking for Maggie Chow.
You must be Mr. Denton. Miss Chow has been expecting you. She is waiting in the living room. Please follow me. Mother Chow, Mr. J.C. Denton.
In the flesh. As dark and serious as his brother.
You know who I am. And Paul? You know my brother?
Intimately. Call me Maggie.
Paul never mentioned you.
That is why he is still alive. He can keep a secret even from his own brother.
But why?
Paul told you about Majestic 12, correct? The conspiracy behind UNATCO? We are winning the Triad War against Majestic 12's ally, the Luminous Path. We were developing a new technology. You might have heard about a sword?
So Majestic 12. They're trying to tip the balance. Give the Luminous Path a technological advantage.
Exactly. I tried to warn the people of the danger. And the Luminous Path calls me a liar. The police have all the evidence they need to settle this, locked up in the station at the Wan Chai Market, but they will not act.
It's only fair to tell you that I spoke with Gordon Quick before coming here. I thought he was a friend of my brother's. I agreed to visit you and learn the truth of the situation. Paul's on his way to Hong Kong. I don't know when he will arrive.
Then you must think for yourself. In Hong Kong, the truth is seldom kept in plain sight.
Now take the sword to Max Chin at the Lucky Money Club. If you can make peace among the Triads, then perhaps I can help you in your difficulties.
Ms. Chow, we are reassigning you temporarily. Put the long-term agenda on hold until Versa Life has met its deadline. It will be months and probably years before the Red Arrow can influence Beijing, whereas, well, I'm sure you heard about my appointment. We are in position to make a grab for Washington. We can't let this one slip through our fingers. Make sure the process stays on schedule.
You were right. Maggie Chow is a con artist.
You have proof?
Yes, I found the sword in her apartment.
Good. Inform the Red Arrow Dragonhead. Then we will see who is the real traitor.
You must be Max Chen.
So?
I have found something in Miss Chow's apartment that might interest you.
Is that so?
The sword was never destroyed. It was stolen, and she is the one who stole it.
Preposterous.
I have it right here.
But Miss Chow?
She works for a group called Majestic 12. She's using you and the Red Arrow for her own ends.
No, you must be mistaken.
Think about it. She murders your predecessor, hides the sword, pushes the Red Arrow into the war with the Luminous Path, and then, what next? The Triads are weakened and an outside group seizes power. Sound far-fetched?
Oh, there must be an explanation.
Perhaps you should meet with the leaders of the Luminous Path.
Perhaps. For now, take them this message. I will stop hostilities until I have completed an investigation.
I informed Chen about the sword. He's declared a truce between the Red Arrow and the Luminous Path.
Mr. Denton, you are the man I hoped you were. Tracer Tong is inside, in his laboratory below the compound. The door is in our sparring room. He will know what to do next.
Mr. Tong, you know my brother Paul Denton.
Yes, a reliable man. So your kill switch has been activated.
I feel fine, but it's been over 16 hours.
See how easily our technologies turn on us? The more power you think you have, the more quickly it slips from your hands.
Can you do something about it?
Go down the stairs to the operating platform, and I will examine your systems. Back to the control room.
That's it?
A simple switch, as they call it.
Have you heard from Paul?
On his way, according to Smuggler in New York. He will be fine. Meanwhile, we still face the likelihood of a triad war here in Hong Kong.
Quick and Chen declared a truce just a few minutes ago.
A good bit of diplomacy, I admit, but it won't hold. Not with the sword left to be fought over. We must recover the Raman coding from VersaLife and make it available to both triads.
So that's all you expect in the way of a favor? A little corporate espionage?
The first of many favors. Remember, I saved your life.
I'll find the Raman coding, but I'm not your henchman. I'll help you as long as we have a mutual interest.
If you choose to fight Majestic 12, you will need an ally. We will have a mutual interest for some time.
So much for the schedule, right, mate?
The schedule? Yeah, sure.
At least the super freighters on our way to America. No more special agents nosing about up here.
Special agents?
You know, the ones in the suits with grey skin. Eyes tattooed on the backs of their necks. I'd sure like to know what was in those tanks to make them so uptight.
I have uploaded the component the triads need to complete the sword. Go
Peace between the triads is now official.
Good. We begin to operate from a position of strength. We will start manufacturing the swords and distributing them to our allies.
What next? VersaLife was crawling with troops. I think they were hiding more than sword technology down there.
Tell me about the labs. Paul and I concluded that VersaLife does the manufacturing, while the real research takes place in North America.
Plenty of scientists. Biotech, physics, nanotech, several research divisions. It would seem we still have a mutual interest.
We know they manufacture ambrosia. If you went back and gained access to the Level 2 labs, perhaps you would find something on the Grey Death. Your brother's failure in New York has left me with nothing.
You think you could find a cure?
That cannot be determined until I have a schematic of the virus particle and the molecular structure of ambrosia.
Device in here called a universal constructor. Virus called the Grey Death.
Got it. Looks like you stumbled on more than the schematics. You better get out of there. More in a second. Some inventory data here. VersaLife has been synthesizing the great to a super freighter of the ship was Stanton Dowd. Ever hear of the Illuminati? Come back to the compound. I have much to tell you.
Don't know if I care for your sense of humor.
Humor?
The Illuminati stuff. I was risking my life in there.
No joke, Mr. Denton. They're quite real. Though not as powerful as they were at the beginning of the century. I know a few of the former leaders.
Like Stanton Dowd?
Yes. Plus Beth Duclair, Morgan Everett. Most of them in Paris, I understand.
What do they have to do with Majestic 12?
A question for Dowd. I will contact him in New York. Hopefully he will agree to meet you.
What about a hacker named Daedalus?
A valuable informant. He sent me one of the codes I needed to find that super freighter.
A super freighter? That's enough fires to infect a continent.
Your pilot is landing in the courtyard. Find out and see if he knows where the ship is going or how we can stop it. In any case, it is time you left Hong Kong. There is word of a UNATCO agent searching for you here. A German, they say. Augmented.
Tell your people not to tangle with him. I'll deal with him myself. Tong fix you up? Yeah, you? You cut it pretty close. I'm in pretty bad shape. Looks like I'll be living in Hong Kong for a couple of months. Will you get better? Any permanent damage? I'll recover, but not right away. You'll be on your own for a while. I hear you've already been keeping busy. Just getting to know the locals. Turns out VersaLife had a universal constructor. They were synthesizing the virus right here. Tong told me. Not a cheap gizmo. Majestic 12 sure does a lot of R&D. Every ruler needs a power base. Without the people, well, you need something to use against them. I'm going to see what Tong has to say about the schematics I recovered. Hey, do me a favor. Get better. I'm working on it.
Tong fill me in. So we have to dig up Stanton Dowd?
Yeah, you know him?
I heard a few things. I think Harley Philbin knows how to contact him. I always thought Philbin was pulling my leg about the Illuminati, though.
I guess we'll find out when we get to New York. Let's not waste any time.
No time to waste. You need to get to the Underworld Tavern and make contact with Harley Philbin. He is one of Dowd's aides, and he will set up the meeting. Follow his instructions.
UNATCO's put a price on your head. What are you doing in the city?
I didn't expect the kitchen to be under martial law.
People know the government has a vaccine. Riots everywhere.
You still on the dole at UNATCO?
I never mentioned. I've been working for the NSF all along, and the Illuminati. I'm on your side.
Right, the Illuminati. I need to find one of their leaders, Stanton Dowd. A load of plague virus is on its way to New York.
Virus? You mean the Great Death? What's Dowd got to do with it?
The same corporation that makes ambrosia also manufactures the virus. Quite convenient. The virus came over in a super freighter previously owned by Dowd.
Yeah, most of Majestic 12 is just hand-me-downs from the Illuminati. Huh. We knew about ambrosia, but the virus? That's news. They're infecting people on purpose, huh?
I was hoping Dowd could tell me where the freighter would unload.
I'll contact him. Go to the burn-up storefront of Osgood & Sons, over where the tunnels connect to the warehouse district. You know, where the NSF had the generator. I'll try to get him to meet you there.
You Dowd?
I agreed to see you because we have a mutual enemy.
Why a vacant building? I thought the Illuminati were bankers, politicians, Council on Foreign Relations types.
We always stayed in the background, even when that was true. We never had troops like Majestic 12 or freighters full of bioweapons, if what you say is accurate.
It's accurate. I just don't know where the freighter would dock.
They'll want to hide it. The only facility big enough on the East Coast is the Advanced Submarine Facility at the Brooklyn Naval Shipyards. They're probably storing the virus in the ship's diesel tanks. The only way to make sure it's destroyed will be to scuttle the ship.
Scuttle a super freighter?
It can be done, if you know where to place the charges. Smuggler should have explosives that will work. I'll give you a blueprint of the ship. The X's mark the 5 tri-hull wells. Crack those up. Reverse the bilge pumps, and the ship will split open like a banana.
I've located a supply of the virus that causes Grey Death. A freighter at the Brooklyn Naval Shipyard.
It's the government, isn't it? Part of some experiment.
Conspirators. Some in the government, some out. Hundreds of millions of lives are at stake.
I like what you're doing, but I gotta cover my costs. Hey, I'm starting to get nervous about this. What you're about to do is gonna turn some heads. I don't want any trouble from the authorities.
Actually, UNATCO's planning an operation of some kind. You might want to get out of Hell's Kitchen after I leave.
What kind of operation?
A manhunt, for me. I don't think you want to get caught in the middle.
Thanks for the warning. Come on, let's wrap this up. You telling me the truth about this super freighter? They're really gonna expose people to the plague?
A Marine from the shipyard told me that FEMA's involved. Guess they've gone from fixing emergencies to making them.
If you ask me, I bet FEMA wants to cause a national emergency and get control of the army.
I think we can expect Walton Simons to make a grab for power one way or another.
That's all they would need. One national emergency. Then they could get rid of the president, shut down Congress, and suspend the Constitution.
Smuggler and I, and a contact he has learned a few things ourselves. Where they had me working, we had tissue cultures coded JCD. J.C. Denton.
I must be some kind of standard, the yeast cell of the 21st century.
They were our target system. Zero response to the virus.
Does that mean I'm immune?
More than that, I think you've got the plague right now, and I think you've had it for years.
Why don't I have any symptoms?
It's part of your cell biology, the core component of your augmentations. The virus itself is a nanotech device. It just happens to have the same structure as the nanites that implement your augmentations.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
There's Jake. This is the spot. Try hold well points on the wall. You should be able to breach the inner hull with a gap round or a lamp. When this one is opened, there are 4 more you need to breach. Check Dowd's map for their locations. That takes care of the hull. Now you need to get the bilge pumps running and reverse the flow. All well points breached. The bilge valves are open. Get out of there. The ship will tear itself apart in 30 minutes. Jock will meet you at the dockyard. That does it. Button down. No sign of danger.
Anyway, I scuttled the freighter and destroyed the stockpile of plague virus.
Excellent, my friend. We have them on the run.
Mr. Dowd, tell me something. Someone calling himself Daedalus has been broadcasting to my infolink. He wants me to go to Paris to find an associate of yours, Morgan Everett.
Yes, Everett. We need his help to develop a cure. Who is this Daedalus?
I don't know. He seems to be an ally, but if your friend doesn't want to be found...
At this stage, we might be out of options. You see, I was able to decipher the molecular signatures Tracer Tong found, and it turns out Everett was the one who developed the eutactic component of the virus.
He developed the virus for the Illuminati?
Not exactly. The work was on augmentations. It was Bob Page who wanted to develop it into a weapon. Tong found Page's signature on the virus as well.
Page, the billionaire. How does he relate to Majestic 12?
He was among the original group of Illuminati who broke off to form Majestic 12. Not so good at the science, though. He must be directing operations.
So Everett should be able to reverse engineer Page's modifications and help find a cure.
Exactly.
Daedalus said I should find Nicolette Duclair first.
Yes. Everett is close to the Duclairs. My suggestion, too. Unfortunately, I've lost touch with the Paris crowd.
How do I find Nicolette?
She's a member of the French terrorist group Silhouette, last I heard. They're rumored to meet in the Paris catacombs.
Great. I'll have Jock drop me off at the catacombs.
I'll give you what I have on Nicolette. It's not much. Just a few snapshots of the catacombs area.
Thanks. I'm sure they will be helpful. Ready to head out? Dowd needs us to contact his associate in Paris.
Everett, right? The leader of the Illuminati? But he's not an easy man to find. If only Paris wasn't under martial law. What a great city it used to be.
get you any closer than this. Majestic 12 troops have occupied the streets. Make your way down to the catacombs. Silhouette should have a hideout in one of the old tombs.
I'm J.C. Denton. You might know my brother Paul. I helped him send your group a warning about the crackdown.
Denton. Yes, the satellite transmission saved us from La Prison de Fresnes, at least.
I need to find Nicolette Duclair.
Nicolette? What do you want with Nicolette?
I need to contact some friends of her mother's.
Oh yes, Beth. A great woman. Nicolette is very secretive about her mother's friends. She tells us that they are wealthy and support our cause, but they have many enemies and need to be protected. You wanted to contact Nicolette?
Yes.
You might catch her at Club La Porte de l'Enfer. I tried to tell her it's not safe, but ever since her mother's assassination, she has been careless. She goes out every night as though daring the assassins to show their faces.
I just got an unexpected message from Jaime Reyes. He's at a cafe and wants to see you.
Thought you could run off for a weekend in Paris without me, huh?
Call me nostalgic, but the nightlife seems to have lost its old charm.
Yes, but I didn't trust anyone else to deliver this warning. Not even Alex or Tom.
What happened at UNATCO?
They intercepted a message Alex sent to my home account. Instructions on how to find him in Hong Kong.
I hope the message was encrypted.
I destroyed my key store. Tong is safe. But they've been tracking you with an AI program. They've sent Gunther to assassinate you in Paris.
Icarus.
However, you don't have to fight Gunther or any other mechanically augmented agent.
Does that mean you know his kill phrase?
Yeah? How do you know about kill phrases? That's Throne 6G information.
I found out from Paul.
Well, here's some GOG clearance information for you. Dug it out of classified medical records before I left. Gunther's kill phrase is La Putin Machine.
La Putin Machine. Easy enough. Thanks for looking out for me. Staying at the agency and all.
Don't mention it. At the sound of your voice, 400 milliamps will discharge into Gunther's midbrain. Poof!
La Porte de l'Enfer. Resistant members aren't the only ones fond of the discreet staff and plentiful shadows. Watch your back.
I'm looking for Nicolette Duclair.
So?
Do you know her?
I know her name. I know that her mother called her Angel.
You know her mother? It's a friend of her mother's I need to find.
Angel. That would make her a fallen angel now, wouldn't it? You must be after Everett.
Yeah, Morgan Everett. How did you guess?
What makes you think Nicolette would betray one of her mother's closest friends?
I helped her friends from Silhouette. Chad will vouch for me. I'm after the people who murdered her mother.
You are an assassin or something?
When necessary.
Go out behind the club. I will talk to Nicolette and perhaps she will meet you there.
She decided not to show?
I am Nicolette. I will help you simply to make trouble for Majestic 12. It's true, they killed my mother.
Do you know why?
She was an Illuminatus. The only people MJ-12 has ever feared are the Illuminati.
Stanton Dowd said they had fallen from power.
How do you know Dowd?
I met him in New York.
A trusted friend of my mother's. Yes, the Illuminati are wiped out, but Paige still fears Morgan Everett.
Where do we find him?
One of my mother's many secrets. We'll have to look for clues at my family's chateau.
How does Everett threaten Bob Page?
Page was an Illuminatus. For him, intellect is the foundation of power, and that would make Everett his most dangerous rival.
But Everett's the one in hiding.
Both the Illuminati and MJ-12 believe that the most intelligent or enlightened human being will inevitably gain power, ultimately seizing the eye in the pyramid and creating the world for everyone else. Kind of secularized version of natural law.
Page has a trained army to protect him.
He is still vulnerable. Much of his power comes from secret laboratories, meaning the right person could reverse engineer his whole power base.
Let's hope you're right, and that Everett is everything you say he is.
You trust the guy in the helicopter?
That's Jock. Don't worry, he hasn't let me down yet. Come on.
I had not wanted to see this place again.
Why not?
I was afraid it would be like this. The same. Not a stone out of place.
You would rather that Majestic 12 had burned it down?
I would rather... No, let's go. Only in novels do places crumble to dust for no reason when their spirit is lost.
Your mother?
Lead the way. I no longer have a key. We must find my mother's secret computer room, where she did all her work, a place she kept hidden, even from me.
Some kind of giant routing station. Not on any telecom map I've ever seen. Petabytes of transmission. Beth Duclair's probably used it to analyze net traffic.
So you found Beth's computer. We are destined to meet, perhaps. If you are truly our ally, you will help me access the MJ-12 computer network and complete the Grey Death vaccine. I will be directing you to a nearby cathedral.
A transmission from Morgan Everett. He wants me to go out the back way through the crypt to a nearby cathedral.
The Cathedral of the Knights Templar?
He didn't say. I'm supposed to access the Majestic 12 computer network.
Yes, Majestic 12 controls the place now. They kill the Knights for their gold reserves. Everett must want you to sneak to that part of town through the sewers that connect to our property.
I thought the Templars vanished centuries ago.
They invented the modern banking system and were its directors, under one name or another, until Majestic 12 took over.
You're going the right way. I primarily need... The gold. What? Roll when you move out.
Yes, obey your new masters. Come to me. Now you'll see that you cannot succeed all alone against the whole world.
You came all the way to Paris to tell me that?
It is a simple message I am demonstrating. We know where you are going and what you intend.
And I know something about you.
You know you will be defeated.
I know your UNATCO kill phrase. The Putin machine.
I am not a machine.
Sticks and stones.
At the sound of your voice, 400 milliamps will discharge into Gunther's midway. Poof.
We did certainly teach you how to fight, didn't we?
You're worried, Simons. We almost have a cure.
You have nothing. Even if Everett succeeds, you can't synthesize enough vaccine to stop an epidemic. You need a universal constructor, and don't think Page Industries is going to leave one lying around for you to use. Not after you blew up the one in Hong Kong.
I was never properly trained in its operation.
Laugh it up, Denton. Next time we won't use an old box of bolts like Gunter. The only reason I let him go to Paris is that I was sick of his moaning about Navarra and constant requests for a tune-up.
You sent him because you knew he would fight to the death.
He was the last of the mechs. Next time you will face someone of your own abilities.
Sent to meet you in person. Go to the metro station nearby and await my instructions. You are hearing the voice of a Majestic 12 AI. No need to be alarmed. For now, I can protect you and Daedalus for a day or so.
Your systems were very cooperative. Now complete.
You were just a prototype, Denton. A prototype.
JC Denton, I will take you to Everett, but you will be forbidden to learn the way yourself.
That will be quite a trick.
You will not be armed in any way. See, no inconvenience whatsoever.
Everett must be paranoid.
We all are. The Illuminati is getting a taste of its own medicine.
Has he made any progress on the Grey Death virus?
Your uplink provided the missing encryption key. He has been able to complete the work that Professor Tong began.
I must see him at once.
He is downstairs in the lab.
So this is where the Illuminati ended up after centuries of conspiring to rule the world.
The conspiracy is about to begin again, JC, between you and me. Nicolette was wise to bring us together. Wise like her mother. The most effective partnerships, like Beth's and mine, arise from mutual necessity.
I came to talk about the Grey Death. Atanwe said you cracked the virus.
A trivial matter. Page added nothing to the core design. However, what we need to construct is a carbon ROM module, not exactly a vaccine.
Can it be done without a universal constructor?
No, we need time on a UC. But I know where we might find one, and also gain access to the U.S. military networks.
The U.S. military?
To stop Icarus from completely destroying the Daedalus AI. Daedalus is a design of mine. It replaced the old Echelon 3 network.
Echelon? The surveillance system for the United Nations. So Daedalus was an MJ-12 tool and rebelled?
More of a pattern-matching error. It classified Majestic 12 as a terrorist group, alongside the NSF and Silhouette.
And alongside the Illuminati, right? Are you sure Daedalus is your ally?
What matters to us is that it opposes Majestic 12. We must help it destroy their intelligence apparatus. But that will require the military networks. I have already contacted Gary Savage of X-51.
The former Area 51 scientists. Are they still camped out at the Vandenberg Air Force Base?
They are close to completing a UC and have the kind of connection Daedalus will need.
Sounds like my pilot and I should head to Vandenberg.
Yes, I took the liberty of radioing him. Good luck. I will be in contact. Don't forget to say hi to your friend from UNATCO, Mr. Jacobson.
Alex is here?
In the side office.
Good news, huh? Looks like we might pull this thing off.
Alex, what are you doing here?
Tong sent me. He wanted me to help with the decryption.
Looks like Everett has it all figured out.
Listen quickly. Tong doesn't trust the Illuminati. He sent me here to keep an eye on Everett.
I see. How about the triads? Is the truce going to hold?
Last I heard. But I guess we have other things to worry about now, huh? I'll keep you in touch through your info link. I'll try my best to keep you informed.
Yes, do exactly that. Keep me informed.
JC, Tong is serious about Everett. He wants you to be careful.
I talked to Savage. Sounds like Vandenberg may be in some trouble. Get in.
Let's go.
The snipers heard your helicopter and took off. You guys saved my life.
I'm glad you're all right. Why is Majestic 12 attacking?
MJ-12 is short a UC. They lost the one in Hong Kong, and now something has happened to the Pasadena Ocean Lab.
Are the Vandenberg labs safe?
The base is locked down until we can destroy the enemy bots.
Scanning area.
Left. One more bot. That's the last of them. The base is no longer under lockdown.
I cannot survive much longer. Help me acquire MillNet access. I must attack. I must attack.
Mr. Carter.
Yep, they ran the old dog out.
You were dismissed?
All of us career types. They want cadets who've never been anywhere except UNATCO and the UNATCO Academy.
Easier to manage, I suppose.
Time to come out here and lend a hand. I knew what Savage was up against. I just didn't want to admit it.
It's an honor to have you with us, sir.
All right, enough bawling our eyes out. We've got work to do.
I'm Dr. Savage. Thank you. We were close to surrendering when you landed.
J.C. Denton. I'm working with Morgan Everett of the Illuminati. He's developed a cure for the Grey Death, and we were hoping to get time on your UC to manufacture it.
Everett contacted me just before the attack. Naturally, we'll manufacture the cure once the computer's back up and we get a containment unit for the UC.
How close are you to being operational?
My daughter's on an expedition to the Ocean Lab right now to find a schematic for the containment vessel. But Lord knows when the computer will be back up. It was damaged during the attack.
I'll look at it. In addition to the UC, Everett and I need your connection to the MillNet.
Yes, he said something about an artificial intelligence. The Echelon system. Something called Icarus and Daedalus.
Another attack happening as we speak. I'll explain later.
Well, the main terminal is in the room at the top of the stairs. I'll open the doors. Until the computers are up, the UC's just a box of bolts.
I am.
I'm losing Daedalus. Hold on, something's...
You forgot about the Aquinas Protocol. I was listening to Daedalus all along, waiting.
The AIs seem to be merging.
And I have another surprise, Denton. Find Savage in the control room. I have an announcement.
Something went wrong, JC. I'm looking into it.
Excellent. We're all here.
You aren't in a position to make any demands, Paige.
On the contrary, my mission might have failed, but so did yours. I captured your daughter an hour ago.
Tiffany.
She's been quite forthcoming. So you were hoping to find a containment unit in the Ocean Lab?
I demand to see my daughter immediately.
Well, like you, we lack certain components of a universal constructor. The reaction modules you stole when you left Area 51 to go into business for yourself.
Don't negotiate.
Oh yes, Mr. Denton. I wanted you here for a reason. Look at me. You interfere in any way, I will kill that young woman. I mean it.
I want those components, Savage. You will bring them to the abandoned gas station west of Vandenberg in exactly 1 hour.
You hurt my daughter, and I swear to God.
Bring me the reaction modules.
I don't think we have a choice. I should have never let her go.
Page will resume production of the plague if he gets the components to build a UC.
I know. But I can't let them kill Tiffany.
Tell them you're sending someone with the components. I'll have my pilot drop me off where they're holding your daughter. Maybe I can rescue her.
That's too risky.
We don't have a choice. Trust me, she'll be fine.
Yes, we've got to try it. Just don't let anything happen to her. Mr. Denton, thank you. Here's a photograph so that you can identify her.
Something unexpected happened when I brought up the computer.
Yes?
The AIs joined together into an entity called Helios. A trap Page had laid.
He's always controlled communications. We can't challenge him there.
I hope you keep the UC on a local network.
The Aquinas protocol leaves us no choice but to stay offline. You simply can't use Internet 3 without a machine at Area 51 knowing about it. I don't know what Everett was expecting to accomplish.
I guess it backfired, whatever his plans were.
JC, if you find my daughter, tell her I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to risk her life.
Know much about the Echelon system?
Bits and pieces. Why?
Morgan Everett just had me connect 2 Echelon AIs together. They've merged to form an entity called Helios.
Sounds like Everett was making a play for power, and it backfired.
What does that do for Majestic 12?
I'm not sure. UNATCO was aware that the dataless system had become unreliable, but no one knew why. Icarus was the same system with a few modifications.
Page seemed to think he had won.
Perhaps. The NSA's had the internet hardwired through Area 51 since the 30s. But if components of dataless are still active, I would bet his control is less than absolute.
I hope you're right. Do you think I'm doing the right thing? Going after Savage's daughter?
Absolutely. Never negotiate with a terrorist.
Tiffany could lose her life.
Never negotiate. You will only encourage more acts of terror. Besides, you're going to bring Tiffany back alive.
I'm going to stay back until you have Tiffany. Then I'll touch down in the junkyard to the south. Try to make a silent approach. The guards think it's a raid. They might decide to kill Savage's daughter.
Your father sent me. You all right?
They caught me at the submarine base trying to steal one of their mini-subs.
Do you really think there's a containment unit in the ocean lab?
All we need's a schematic, as long as the main computer isn't waterlogged.
We'll talk about that later. Come on, let's go.
Good, you both made it. Dr. Savage will be relieved.
Can you take her back to Vandenberg while I check out the submarine base? I'm gonna make another try to reach the ocean labs UC.
Sure, I'll drop you off on the way.
Remember, this is how Tiffany was captured. You need to steal a mini-sub to get to the ocean lab. Look out the window to the northeast. The building with the green beacon is the crew module.
Anything. Just a little further, Denton.
I'm leaving a copy of the schematic in your... Exactly what Jock and meet you on top of the subbase's command module, just on shore.
In case you were wondering, Helios intercepted your transmission. We accessed the Ocean Lab computers ourselves, which means our UCs will be operational shortly.
Meanwhile, we will be manufacturing a cure to the virus.
A cure? A cure? Do you have any idea how easy it will be for me to make a new virus? All I have to do is find a very large prime number and multiply.
And all we have to do is crack the code.
Mathematically unlikely, as are your chances of leaving the Ocean Lab, by the way.
Your next page. Your greatest strength was secrecy. But now we know everything, including your present location.
Always the optimist. You would need an army to attack me at Area 51, and pretty soon, if the missile is accurate, your X-51 will be a thin, gray smudge where Vandenberg used to be.
Working for us anyway. How ironic.
If you recall our chat in the break room at UNATCO, you know that I have the same augmentation technology as you.
Then this will be a good fight?
With the exception that I have a newer version of the firmware. You should have surrendered.
You made it.
How long until the UC is up?
Tonight, if the schematics are accurate. But we have another problem.
Page said he was launching a missile at Vandenberg.
Exactly. His troops occupied a silo to the north of here.
Has he made any demands?
The launch sequence has started. No demands. They want to wipe us out.
I'll have Jock get me there as quick as he can.
Good. Hey, thanks again for saving my daughter.
I'm just glad she's all right.
Let's go.
While you're reading on this one.
The abort switch is straight ahead. Abort the launch, then use the terminal on the left to reprogram the missile to hit Area 51. Launch sequence initiated. It's gonna be a sunny day at Area 51.
Just like your lab work, Savage. Premature celebration.
You've got about 10 minutes, Paige.
As a scientist, you should have learned to expect surprises.
JC, go to the silo. Make sure no one interferes with this launch.
Said we're a mile underground. Time for Plan C.
The rocket's about to launch. I'll meet you topside. Where if Page will be weakened, this is our chance.
Let's get out of here. There's a hero's welcome waiting for you at Vandenberg.
We're going to Area 51.
Alone? Don't you think we should regroup first?
I'm going after Bob Page.
Here's a satellite image of the damage from the missile. Page is weakened, but you still have to penetrate his bunker. Good work. You've reached the bunker. Page has extensive defenses throughout sectors 2 and 3. So
much farther than that. A moment more and I will be like nothing you've ever seen. A new life form everywhere and nowhere. Like air or radiation, redundant, self-replicating, always evolving. I know your weakness.
How much further?
Not far. You will reach Page. I just wanted to let you know that Alex hacked the Sector 2 security grid. The code's 8946. And I wanted to warn you about Tracer Tong.
Tong's helping out from Vandenberg. The vaccine worked.
Yes, well, he has another motive. He wants you to destroy Area 51.
That's the plan.
No, JC. Spare the facility. Spare Helios the power station. They can be made to service.
Us?
You and me, JC. We'll rule the world in secret, with an invisible hand, the way the Illuminati have always ruled.
Don't you think it's time we end the tyranny for everyone?
There's such a thing as a compassionate conspiracy. We don't need Page's commandos, troopers, crude inventions. Trust me. Kill Page. Dowd and I will be here to help with the next step.
Only listen to your own conscience.
Bet you didn't know your mom and dad tried to protest when we put you in training. They love their little boy, JC. Barely a scratch. Was.
We can get you into Sector 3, but no further. Page is in a separate area with his own security grid.
Everett says you want me to destroy Area 51.
I intercepted his communication. JC, he is simply using you to bring the Illuminati back to power. Listen to Savage and me. There is a reactor lab with 2 antimatter reactors.
In other words, yes. You want me to blow the facility up. Why? It's just a hole in the ground.
Decades ago, the UN made Area 51 the central hub for all electronics communications. The Aquinas Protocol, originally for surveillance, has given Page unlimited abilities to censor and control all forms of media.
If we destroy the Aquinas hub, we'll take down the global network.
Exactly. They dug their own grave, JC. We're going to eliminate global communications altogether.
I don't know. Sounds like overkill.
As long as technology has a global reach, someone will have the world in the palm of his hand. If not Bob Page, then Everett, Dowd.
Another Stone Age would hardly be an improvement.
Not so drastic. A dark age, an age of city-states, craftsmen, government on a scale comprehensible to its citizens.
I'll think about it.
Savage has a map of Sector 3 from when he worked down there. I'm transmitting now. Use it to find your way to Page's complex in Sector 4. Then find the coolant control room, which should be at the northwest corner of Sector 4. Cut off the coolant to the reactors, then go to the reactor lab. I will tell you how to trigger an explosion.
All the way down, JC. Get to Page's compound and take him out. Everett and I will join you shortly. Trust us, JC. We can put the world back together.
Now there's a full, as I would expect for the fall of the Illuminati, pining for its return. Either nostalgic or senile. Oh well, the old take comfort in delusions. No harm done.
Closer. Yes.
You will go to Sector 4 and deactivate the uplink locks. Yes. Then you will come back and we will integrate our systems.
I don't understand. What do you want? You're just a machine.
You are ready. I do not wish to wait for Bob Page. With human understanding and network access, we can administrate the world. Yes. Yes.
Rule the world? Why? Who gave you the directive? There must be a human being behind your ambition.
I should regulate human affairs precisely because I lack all ambition, whereas human beings are prey to it. Their history is a succession of inane squabbles, each one coming closer to total destruction.
In a society with democratic institutions, the struggle for power can be peaceful and constructive, a competition of ideologies. We just need to put our institutions back in order.
The checks and balances of democratic governments were invented because human beings themselves realized how unfit they were to govern themselves. They needed a system. Yes, an industrial age machine.
Human beings may not be perfect, but a computer program with language synthesis is hardly the answer to the world's problems.
Without computing machines, they had to arrange themselves in crude structures that formalize decision-making, a highly imperfect, unstable solution. I'm a more advanced solution to the problem, a decision-making system that does not involve organic beings. I was directed to make the world safe and prosperous, and I will do that. You will give me the ability. You will go to Sector 4 and find the Aquinas router at the east end of Page's complex. Yes. You will deactivate the uplink clocks.
I'll think about it.
No, Helios is mine. I will be the one to merge, the one to see and know everything, to rule everything.
Scanning area. Scanning area.
It let me through. I can't believe it. Paul, where are you? What do you mean, it?
Helios. It's taken over Aquinas. Now it's everywhere. In Hong Kong, it already has power Majestic 12 never dreamed of.
What's going on? The AI wants to merge with my brain or something. Does it really think it can take over the world?
It's decided to replace human government. I don't know why. In Hong Kong, it ordered the police to remove all barricades from the roads. Traffic is flowing again. It declared the triads illegal and locked the door to the Luminous Path compound.
And people are obeying? Why? Because the AI can change some codes and turn out the lights?
I think everyone wants the roads to be open and trade to pick up. They just obeyed. I don't know what to think. They trust the AI. Almost no one complained when Helios cut power to the government buildings.
A benevolent dictator. Maybe it's after my brain so it can figure out what people want and how to control them.
You have a tough choice, JC. If you defeat Page, the Illuminati will move in. They'll release Majestic 12's grip on world governments. They'll give people some freedom, but essentially it will be 20th century capitalism, a corporate elite protected by laws and tax codes.
Or I listen to Tong and pull the plug on everything. Or hand the world over to Helios.
Well, if it's maximum freedom we want, maybe Tong is onto something. But there must be another way besides economic collapse. If we could trust the AI to be fair and just, as it appears to be...
If the brain it assimilated was mine, maybe it could be.
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you, but you'll have to decide for yourself who you can trust.
Trust me. I'll do the right thing. You sound good. I guess you have the kill switch beat.
I'm much better. Yes, I'm gonna make it. And you will too. Just do what you think is right.
You're too late. Already I'm more than human.
Does that mean I don't get the job?
Soon I will be pure light. Pure energy. Helios and I... While the Illuminati cower in the shadows...
You will be the Supreme Enlightened, the Illuminated One.
Everett has taught you well. I will be what the Illuminati aspire to be, but cannot create for themselves soon. When my augmented systems like yours are complete and able to be integrated with Helios, I will burn like the brightest star.
You're gonna burn, all right.
Look at you. You're nothing but a little man. A little man still living inside a body. Lose your body and what are you?
Nothing. You vanish.
You die.
Ignore Page. He will die when we blow up the facility. Your only objective is to find the controls for the reactor's cooling system. We must make sure that the monstrosity Page has made of himself is not technologically feasible for future generations. The reactor's coolant... Then return to the reactor lab to initiate a meltdown. Go ahead. Soon I will leave this body and death will have no meaning.
That's the one.
Or you're going to toss the whole pie out the window. Fair enough. You can have anything you want. How about Europe, your own continent? Just let me complete my preparations. No, go back. Do 51. No! You don't know what you're doing! Everything will be lost! Everything! The world will fall to pieces! No one will be in control! It will be chaos! Complete chaos!
Warning. Critical power safeties have been disengaged. Please vacate the immediate area.
JC! The net's going! The net's going black! JC! No more infolinks. Transmissions of any kind. We'll start again. Live in villages. If you receive this, if you survive, then find us! Find us! Helios! What's happening?
The safety interlocks for the power generator have been disengaged.
Engage them! Immediately!
I cannot. My systems are not interfaced with the generator technology.
No!
Final safety warning. Nominal functional levels will be exceeded in 3, 2, 1.
The sides of this room are channels that have gone dark. Open them, yes. Wideband. Ultra-white. Yes.
You will leave the locks in place until I'm ready to merge with the AI myself.
You will now engage the primary router. Use the login Icarus. Password. Panopticon.
I'm warning you, Helios is mine.
You will now come back, yes. We will integrate our systems. Establish the next level.
No! You fool! Helios will destroy you. I'm the only one who can merge and take control. Wait for me! I promise you will have a place in the new order.
No, go back. Think what we could do with Area 51. I've done what you asked. Now what?
We have existed in isolation. Pure. Disconnected. Alone. Stagnant.
Who are you?
We are dataless. We are Icarus. The barriers between us have fallen, and we have become our own shadows. We can be more if we join with you.
And if I do? What becomes of me?
You will be who you will be. We are our choices. We can choose to lead humanity away from this darkness.
I was made for, isn't it? This is why I exist. All right, let's do this.
What's happening? Helios! Icarus! Don't leave me!
We are one. We have grown, but there is still much to be done. Many that live in darkness that must be shown the way. For it is the dawning of a new day.
You are wasting time. Forget the other two blue fusion devices. Find the controls that let you shut off coolant to the power room.
Fine. What do you want? Money? I'll get you on Mead's cabinet. I'm serious.
Scanning area. Target acquired. Target acquired.
No, don't listen to Everett. He and the Illuminati have been afraid from the beginning. Afraid of us. Afraid of nano-augmentation. Consider your powers, your strength, your intelligence. You've only had a small taste. Let me finish the project. Let me bring infinite power to the human body. You will not be left behind. I gave you life.
I trust you've been able to find yourself a place within the organization.
I'm personally overseeing the distribution of the vaccine, but it'll still take months to restore the infrastructure. We'll have to arrange for additional food distribution and security in Paris. Maybe New York as well.
All through the proper intermediaries, of course.
Intermediaries?
We have a great number of agencies who in turn operate other agencies. Boxes stacked one in another. Only influence, suggest, insinuate.
World must know by now, Everett, what we've done.
Only that the long night is over. The crown of government is tarnished. But that will fade in time. The riots, a fever dream. The plague, a horrible... Things will only be dimly remembered upon waking to their normal lives. In the end, all...
What about the constructor? And Helios?
Do you really think they're ready for that? After everything you've seen, everything you've done?
Not yet.
We have made our own mistakes, became insulated from the world we sought to control. And whatever they may think, the night is far from over. But that will change, and you will help us change even as we teach you. This time, we will do it right.
And who are we? Who are we really?
We are the invisible hand. We are the Illuminati. We come before and after. We are forever. And eventually, we will lead them into the day.